Hi y'all, what's up everyone? Hope you all are doing well and fantastic and having a lovely week so far on this beautiful sunny Tuesday here in Grabo, South Africa. Okay, so if you're new, first things first, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and share this video to a friend as well. Because what I'm about to talk about and share is my life. Well, not you can say my life. It's actually a testimony that I'm going to tell, God's testimony that He has given me, and I'm going to share it to His people. And I pray, well, like I always do, I pray before I make a video, and I pray that this video shall reach at the right time and moment to the right people that needs to hear this the most. Okay, so with you all that don't know, I make YouTube videos, videos that I posted on all social media platforms. My main topic is about depression free. As some of you all know, I had been struggling with depression for 3 years. I struggled with depression, anxiety, fear, and of killing of myself. I had a lot of suicidal thoughts, and the list goes on and on, but the main thing was depression, and it led to all of the stuff that I also struggled with. So let me begin. So in 2021, it started the first time I had depression. I was going out with this guy, which I'm not really going to talk about because it's in the past. I forgave him and his family for the pain that they caused, especially the guy. But I prayed for him, and God set me free from him. And I'm glad that I had a guy like him, because God showed me things, what I want exactly in a guy and in a family. Because remember, girls and women, when you date someone, you're not just dating the guy, you're dating the family as well. But anyway, so I was in 2020, I met this guy. Long story short, it was my first true love. I was deeply in love with him, and I loved him very much. I just finally knew exactly what love really meant. But not just because of him or that relationship I was with, but God showed me what love meant, because God is love. Anyway, so this guy broke my heart, but like I said, I'm not gonna talk about that. And just so you know, no, he's not the reason I got depression. You'll see now why I'm mentioning this. So on 2021, the 14th of February, on Valentine's Day, we broke up. Story of my life. It was one of the worst days of my life. Anyway, okay, I'm just gonna skip a few bits and pieces. Anyway, so eventually we broke up. I came back home. I was very sad, because who's not sad after a heartbreak, especially if it was your first true love that you found and thought you could marry them and whatever. And I was moping. I would never forget, for 3 long weeks I was crying. I was so mad. And but anyway, so after 3 weeks I was myself again, and I was feeling myself. Anyway, and I can't remember how long I was feeling myself, and then something happened. Like, it came back to me, the heartbreak story. It just came back to me, and all the hurt came back to me, and and then not just that, like a lot of things just like put light bulbs in me. Like, I don't know what exactly it was, but then I just started becoming more sad every single day, like literally gotten worse and worse by the day. I didn't really like to go gym anymore. I started losing interest in things and wanting to do things with people. And yeah, I lost sight in the person I was, which I was not, because I'm someone that I love to help people out, be there for people, give them spiritual guidance, and talk with them, be there for people, for children especially, because I love children. I love them. They bring so much joy in people's lives. And yeah, anyway, and I have a bundle of joy in my heart for Jesus. I didn't knew that time anymore how to pray. I didn't knew how to read the Bible, or what this verse or that means. I didn't know or knew how to do a few things at that time. I didn't want to go out or socialize really. Yeah. So, and I remember in 2021, I had twice the thoughts of suicidal thoughts. And yeah, and eventually my parents literally forced me the one day, and I would never forget it. I was so mad at them, but I did forgive them, but I'm glad they did. So they forced me to go, and my dad took me that one night. I remember he took me to our pastor and our pastor's wife, and because they wanted me to start spiritual counseling. And they spoke to me, and I didn't really want to open up, but I told them I'm depressed and blah blah blah. Well, I was depressed. And then they gave their numbers to me and said when I'm ready and when I want, then I can message one of them and let them know to start my spiritual counseling. So I said okay. So I'm not gonna lie to you, I think it was few weeks or a month went by, and then I said to myself, okay, let me just do this. So eventually I started the spiritual counseling, but I just wanted a one-on-one, because I didn't like to speak to two people. I just wanted a one-on-one. So I worked with my pastor's wife, and then eventually it led on to every week I had to go to my sessions. It did me wonderful. At the end of the day, and when my sessions went to the end, near the end, I had to start forgiving people. And you will never know or knew what an impact it has on your life if you don't forgive someone and set them free. At the end of the day, it can hold you back from yourself and a lot of things and people as well. So yeah, my pastor's wife said I must write from when I was young till that time I was 20, write it down, stories and the people that what they did to me, how they hurt me. So I wrote it down, and every week we took one by one everyone that I had to forgive. It was very difficult. Some was very easy, some were very difficult. I had to, which I'm not going to mention. There was 3 specific people that I really struggled to forgive, but eventually I forgave them. So I was set free from depression. I remember that time God gave me a word, a vision saying free, so which means I'm free. So yeah, I was having the time of my life. I was kind of like not really ministering, no. I was giving my testimony the first time to the church, and then at my 21st party I wanted it to be a party about glorifying Jesus, and I did. I gave my testimony at my birthday party, my 21st birthday. Okay, so everything went well. I had my time of my life for a few months. Yeah, a few months. And it was just great. It was wonderful. And yeah, and after a few months, year around last year, I think it was March or April, I had a relapse with depression again, where the enemy was busy wanting to attack me again, because the enemy always tries to attack our minds, and he unfortunately knows our weaknesses. So he tried to attack me again, and I didn't really listen that time or notice what God was saying to me, but he gave me visions, warning visions. And so he actually was trying to tell me the enemy wants to attack me again. But I didn't really notice or really knew what was going on. And eventually, slowly but surely, I was becoming more and more and more and more and more depressed. Okay, so this time it was worse than the previous year of 2021. So in 2022, I was so depressed. I didn't know how to communicate with people. I lost interest of things that I love to do and what I love to help people. I just was my own bubble. I had a lot of anxiety attacks. Sometimes when I went to the gym, I had anxiety attack, or I was like freaking out inside of me, or I went to the bathroom and I just started crying, or yeah, it's a lot of things I remember. And I always tried to make excuses with my mom, saying I don't want to go to the gym, I will make up for it on Saturday or another day, and blah blah blah. And yeah, I was binge eating like crazy, literally. And then every time I complained to my mom, like, oh, I can't believe I ate the whole burger or the whole pizza or this or that. But I didn't know I had the spirit of obesity and gluttony by me at that stage of my life and that season. And yeah, it was just really worse, really, really worse. Every time we had to go to church, I didn't want to go, but it was just something that was like forcing myself to get ready to go to church. I never, because I'm not really someone that puts makeup on. I will put like eyeshadow or mascara or that type of thing on. And I didn't even put makeup on any. I didn't even dress beautifully. I didn't care. I just didn't care. And like, yeah, I had a lot of negative thoughts. I thought eventually the enemy said stuff to me, whispered stuff in my ear, and then I came to my mind, and eventually I started believing it. And then I spoke negative things to myself, and I had thoughts in my head as well. So yeah, it was hectic. So like it in the Bible says, in the God's word says, life and death is in your tongue. What you say, you become, or it will happen. So you gotta start also speaking life and truth over yourself every day. So yeah, that what happened. And I didn't really hang out with any friends. I lost interest in literally everything. Eventually I had to quit my job, which was the worst thing that I've ever had to do. It was very heartbroken. I cried. It was embarrassing. I didn't want to do it, but the lady knew why I did it, what I do. She knew what I was going through. We're still in contact. She's like a mother to me. She's so sweet and kind. I love her to bits, and her husband and children, I love them all. She's a therapist, but yeah, okay, anyway. So yeah, and what else happened? Yeah, like on weekends I didn't want to go out. And also, oh yeah, thank you, Holy Spirit, I remember last year I didn't want to be left alone without my mother. And I'm like, if I had to think back on it now, I'm like a young adult, like, yeah, I still need my mom, but I'm old enough to take care of myself, you know. But it's like, I literally remember the one day my mom went to someone to, because she was worried about me, so she went to someone that was also struggling at that time, the same as me. Well, kind of. This lady was also depressed and so. And I literally wanted to cry. I was freaking out in my mind and inside. And when my mom eventually came, I ran to her, gave her a hug, and she saw that I was not like her, and she asked me what's going on. And I told her, like, where were you? You mustn't leave me, and blah blah blah. So yeah, and the other thing, what I went through was last year. Last year I was more suicidal than the year before. So in 2022, I had a lot of suicidal thoughts. And also, what happened was, what else happened? So I overthinked a lot, and I didn't know what was going on around me a lot. So I remember the times I had to help in the kitchen with something. I was very confusing. I had a very confusing mind at that time. I was confused how to do this, and I'm talking about things that I was able to do and were good at. Didn't knew what to do, and I freaked out. I can tell you a few stories about those times that I was freaking out inside, but I'm going to talk about that because the video is already long. But yeah, eventually someone offered to pay for me to go to what do you call it, a psychologist. Yeah, psychologist. Yes, I'm just thinking, I always get confused with psychologist and the other one. I can't remember now, but anyway, so eventually I was very, very scared when I went, and then eventually I went, and it really did me good. I opened up to the lady eventually, and then she said I need to go on medication, like antidepressants, pills. I hope I'm pronouncing it right in English. But yeah, and then when the second time I went, what happened was, what did happen? She saw I was much better and so on, and eventually she told me what to do. I had to go be on a routine, and she gave me a few things and stuff to do, homework as well. And she told me to be thankful, to write things down, what I'm thankful for every day, and I did do it. I started being on a routine, and I started getting every day better. Me and my mom had our quiet time together in the mornings, and eventually I started praying again, reading the Bible. I was so full of Jesus. It was, but yeah, and then eventually God also told me how to overcome depression. He and the Holy Spirit told me how to come over depression with the one video I made about the other day. I did share it. And then yeah, so before I continue, so just to remind you, yes, I may be on medication and stuff. Well, this medication, it's not the medication that helped me. Yes, God made doctors to help us. He did make doctors and stuff. He did make medication for people to make medication to help us. But the most best doctor that you can ever get is our Father in heaven. And I trust and fully believe and have faith that it was God that healed me completely last year. Anyway, so just to get that straight, just saying, it's not the medication. Yes, it helped me a little, but it's God that helped me completely and fully, and I am healed fully in Jesus' name, and I'm depression free. Anyway, so yet again I had the time of my life. Everything was back on track, the gym, everything. I started being more than myself, and yeah. So then After a few months of having the time of my life, I had a relapse. The beginning of the year and the end of January. The same as last year, literally, was this year. So I had again was depressed, but how it actually came, I remember I started having fear, and you know what in the Bible it says, what you fear may become, so don't fear. So I started fearing. I was just was very, very bad, and then eventually when I was fearing, I got so anxious, and then eventually, but little by little, everything just came back to me: the depression, anxiety, fear, overthinking, comparison, and the gluttiness, the spirit of gluttiness, obesity, laziness, and the list goes on and on and on. But this time was so worse. The thinking of killing myself. I remember the one time I went to my cupboard. Not that I really have medication like pills and stuff. I was checking like what can I drink to, because I don't want to live anymore, because depression is really, it's not a, it's yeah, it's the worst thing. I wouldn't want anyone to go through something like that. But yeah, I remember one time the generator that we have, the petrol that my dad or my brother throws always in the generator. I remember the one time I wanted to, or not wanted, I had the thought of, ooh, maybe I should drink this so I don't have to live anymore. So that was what the thought that I had about it. That's the kind of thoughts I had this year about it. But yeah, this is the story of my life. And then eventually, yeah, I also again, I was back where I worked last year, and then I was again back. And then eventually I had to quit again, and I went back to the psychologist. And so yeah, I just, luckily I went one time, because the time that she had her opening for me, I was at the stage in the moment of how can I say, of my healing stage. So it was going better by day and day. So yeah, sometimes we don't understand why things go the way it goes, but God won't allow things to happen to us, because He knows it's going to make, at the end of the day, it's going to make us stronger and more of a better person, you know. And every time this happened to me, and I realized the other day, every time this happened to me, God just started like showing me more things and doing more things and revealing me more spiritual things. And He has put He has put me more and more people every time in my life that I must help, or whatever, or vice versa, or people that is also depressed and stuff. Like, I can tell you a few things of people that God has put on my life that I must help and pray for or with. But yeah, this is my testimony about how God saved my life. And well, not my testimony, God's testimony that He has given me. And I really hope that this means something for you, and just to know and give you courage if you may be going through something like this. Just know you're not alone. God sees you, God is with you, and don't allow the enemy to make you believe things that is not true. Just know you will get through this. And I'm also here, and you can even message me or give a comment or whatever if I must pray with or for you. And yeah, I pray God's healing and favor upon your life. And yeah, and this is my testimony. I hope you all enjoyed God's testimony. And please give this video a like if it meant something to you, and go share it to a friend or tag a friend. And also you can go check out, and please go like and follow my other pages on Instagram, TikTok and Facebook. The other names are, all three other names are Yulaine Cook with a 2. So yeah, anyway, check you guys soon, and may God bless you all and stay safe, and yeah, see you all soon. Much love.